Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your host, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Iowa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Ark-La-Tex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager right here to my left, Kevin Jean, the one and only, and Kevin running the board, making this show happen, pushing all the right buttons, is the one and only Northwestern State graduate, proud graduate of Northwestern State, James Stanfield. James, appreciate you all the work you're doing for us, man. Can't thank you enough. Today's show, first of all, we're going to wrap up the ABA Open Series. We got the Outlaw Outdoors. We're going to wrap that one up, and they smoked them on Saturday in Outlaw Outdoors, and we'll see what the results were for that. Took a lot just to get a check, Kevin. I was like, whoa. When I saw the weights, and of course, the one thing it kind of clued me in on, they were on the south end of the lake. Mm-hmm. It's still going on that end, and it wasn't much going on our end where we were at, and I think that's why our weights reflected that a little bit in this event. And but anyway, we'll get to that in just a little bit. We're also going to preview the Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash Series, the great series, Big Bass Splash Series of events that they put on. It's on Sam Rayburn this coming weekend. Make sure you sign up. It'll be a great event. Also, today we have a special guest to kind of give you a little clue as to how they can catch them, Kevin. Mm-hmm. Who we got on today?
Garrett Hilton, Sam Rayburn Fishing Guide. Garrett's big guy does a great job over there at Sam Rayburn. We're going to kind of break Sam Rayburn down from a fishing report to water levels, baits, so on and so forth. Steve, probably the biggest week of the year on Sam Rayburn, biggest tournament of the year, I know for sure, on Sam Rayburn this week. The Big Bass Splash starting on Friday. We go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're just gonna have Garrett on, kind of break down what's going on, the water level. I know the fish. There's actually, there's some water up in the bushes. I know you caught a few fish in the bushes this past weekend. Yep. Steve had a good finish in the ABA Open over there. We'll kind of hear from him on kind of how all of his stuff went down, and just give everybody a good fishing report on what to do, what to look for, and what we got coming up.
Also, the Bob Seeley event, $550,000 will be given away for this event. $250,000 in hourly paybacks. Guys, all for weighing one fish. So go out there, have a good time. Nobody does it better than Bob Seeley. It's a great time, well run. Opportunity to win money like the pros, and so check it out. And before we get to our first guest today, or our guest today, which is Garrett Hilton, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Here's our list of our great sponsors that we've got, and hopefully one day you can be a part of this family as well. We'll be right back with more Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Ark and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins, as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support Garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santone, Spro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49, or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean, and this segment's presented by Toledo Health, the Boat Shop, 3J's four-way, home of Cypress Outdoors. Stop by John Abraham on your way to Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn. Stop. It's just right off I-49, not even a half a mile. Stop in there. He's got a great selection of bait and tackle. V&M's got a wonderful selection in there. Soft plastic, spinnerbaits, jigs, everything you can need to catch that big one, or maybe going to Cane River. Hey, check it out, Cypress Outdoors. On the Tackle Talk hotline, we have Sam Rayburn Guide Garrett Hilton, and Garrett, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man, thank you for having me.
And Garrett's actually on the water today. He's on the water. Are you on a trip or are you scouting, Garrett?
Oh, I've actually got a little guide trip going today.
Okay. How they biting this morning?
They're biting pretty good. The wind's blowing real hard, so we're limited to where we can fish today, but we're catching a bunch of fish.
Good deal. So, Garrett, as we alluded to, coming on start the show, man, probably the biggest week, the biggest tournament on the lake all year. The Sealy's Big Bass Splash this weekend. Give me your opinion on that. I feel like it's coming at a good time. I feel like there's going to be a lot of fish caught. I feel like there's still a lot of fish shallow and some fish starting to move out as well.
Yes, sir. It's been a really weird year. Like, you can ask anybody around here that fishes quite a bit, and we're like, we don't know what's good. Like, the phase of the spawn they're in, everything seems to be pushed back. So, usually this time of the year, you don't see any more bedfish or anything when Sealy rolls around. And there's still some fish on beds. There's big ones getting caught on frogs, and there's some fish coming out. And it's a mixture of everything. I agree with you 100%. There will be a bunch of fish caught, and it's going to take a pretty good fish to get a check every hour.
Garrett, one thing I noticed, I fished over there last weekend in the ABA tournament, and we only had one guy, and they had probably 50 to 55 on the boater side of that event. But there was only one 20-pound bag, and then the weights were real tight in between. So what that told me, when I saw the results of the Outlaw Outdoors, a lot of those guys were on the south end of the lake. The north end of the lake where we were at, I think they're done up there. There wasn't a lot of fish on bed up there, very few. But now down south, I bet that's where they're still on beds.
Yeah, sir. We've been seeing quite a few. We're between, Tiger Creek and Coleman Creek, between here mid-lake. And, there's quite a bit of people fishing down here, but you can find a place to get out of the crowd still. But we are seeing them on beds down here, and it's like a mixture of all three. Like I said, you can see some up here, and then how we're really catching all them big ones right now is the fish that are coming out and in. They're offshore, but they're shallow. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're shallow and not on the bank.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, Garrett, would you say mid-lake all the way down to St. Augustine, Mill Creek, Bear Creek? Would you say focus on those areas of the lake?
That's what I would say. I mean, if you're getting in some dirtier water, go throw a frog and get up tight in the bushes. I mean, if you hear, you want to get your frog in there when you hear an explosion, you can't see it happen. You just set the hook when you hear the noise,
Yeah, exactly.
Hang on and have fun.
Yeah. Before we jump into any more fishing reports, Garrett, I know you caught you had one over 10 last week, correct?
Yes, sir. That was actually 3 days ago.
Okay.
I had a 10 and then an 8.53 after that. I had a day to myself just to go looking around, and I was just trying to catch a big one. And the way I did that was I just said, hey, if I'm a post spawner, where would I be? And I'm just looking for big suspended post spawners on LiveScope.
Yeah.
And just get out here around the creek channel, just off secondary points and stuff. And every now and then you just come across one sitting by herself, and you're like, oh, that's her. And then, interestingly enough, I threw a big swim bait by her first, because, you know, the water's warming up, first of all. I'll start by saying this. So they're not biting an Alabama rig as good anymore, so didn't throw an A-rig at her. I cut it off, tied on a mag draft swim bait. I threw it by her, and she didn't even move. So I'm like, oh, that's strange. Maybe I missed. So I throw at her again. I'm pretty sure I bumped her with my bait the second time. Still didn't move. So I said, well, I picked up a glide bait, threw a glide bait by her. She still sat there. So now I'm like, is it even a bass? Well, picked up a jerk bait, twitched it twice, and whoop, she gets up behind it, followed it all the way to the boat, man. And she, you know, you'd twitch it, let it sit there, and she'd run up behind it, then back up, and then, you know, the whole nine. And then she gets under my trolling motor, and then I said, oh my gosh, that's a really big one. I mean, she took up half that 2-foot square, you know, on your grid lines. She literally takes up half that square. And I said, man, if this is a bass, this is a really, really big one. And next thing I know, my jerk bait and the fish connect, and I said, maybe I got her. I picked up. It's tight, and then she shoots out of the water like a dolphin. And I said, wow. Oh, my Lord.
Wow.
You know, one thing, Garrett, that I've had people that have, you know, call me, or they'll see me somewhere. Hey, I'm going to fish Sealy. What do you think? What's one bait I can throw and probably catch a quality fish? This time of year, the swim jig has been a player in this event pretty much year in and year out.
Yes, or a swim jig, a frog around the bushes. But if I were to pick one bait, just me being me, I'd say Carolina rig.
Yeah, yeah.
How deep?
Between 4 to 13 foot of water.
4 to
somewhere
13,
in there.
yeah. Main lake points, just out of the spawning pockets, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff like that. You know, where fish are trying to back out, and then we do have a few pre-spawners coming in, which is weird. That's what we're talking about here. Like, there's still fish coming in. It's so late because we've had such a late winter, it seems, I guess. But you know, and the water's coming up too. I don't know if that has anything to do with where the fish are getting, you know, up in the bushes and all that, being caught on a frog. But
yeah,
I would throw a Carolina rig in 4 to 9 foot of water all day.
Yeah.
4 to 9, 4 to 13, somewhere in there.
That was actually one of the baits I was able to capitalize on a little bit, and didn't do as well on tournament day as I did in practice with it. But and one thing you've noticed, you talk about the lake. The lake has come up in 10 days, 2.28 inches. It's at 1.42 feet low right now, but it's still continuing to rise. In 24 hours, it's come up 1.2 inches.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's coming up. So, you know, fish chase rising water, and it always seems that way my whole life. The water comes up, fish go shallow. Like I used to fillet catfish, and man, we cleaned a bunch of fish growing up. Well, long story short, when the water comes up and you catch all these catfish and you fillet them, they got earthworms in them and stuff. So you think about that. Water comes up, all the earthworms come out of the ground.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of new food up in there. So big fish eat little fish, and that's food chain, man. Fish go to them.
Garrett, we know, you know, it always takes a good fish to win it. But this year, with the Panoptics, you know, being what it is, and the amount of big fish being caught using the Panoptic now, it just allows us to fish for fish we never have fished for before. How many over 10 this weekend?
The lake is fishing better for big fish this year.
I'm thinking somewhere around 2 to 3 over 10.
Yeah, I was thinking 3.
You put that many boats on the water, it depends. So a lot of people have live scope, and you know, if you're able to use it the right way, and you know what you're looking at and can see them out here, and man, it's going to be interesting this year because more people are learning how to use it now. That's what I do a lot, is teach people how to use live scope. So
yeah,
I mean if you, I'm going to say 4, 5, 6 of them.
Really?
Wow. I bet you there's going to be some caught.
Yeah, there definitely be.
I'm seeing some. Like, we looked at one just a minute ago that we couldn't catch. I mean, she followed it all the way to the boat, and the whole time you're like, my gosh, if this is a bass, this is like, it looks like a 20-pounder, you know, like just, but she looked identical to my 10-pounder, just really, really big.
Garrett, what area of the lake right now? I know Five Fingers, Coleman, Veach have got good grass in it right now. What is there any other pockets that are have a lot of good grass in it right now?
Oh, Caney has a bunch of good grass.
Yeah.
Caney and Beach and Five Fingers, Norris, Coleman.
Yeah, basically really Caney, Beach down.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's all dead. We don't have any in Buck Bay this year. I fished, in the ash arm a lot growing up, and we don't have any hydrilla at all to speak of north of, nothing in the ash arm has grass.
Well, St. Augustine that St. Augustine area used to have some grass in there, but I don't know if it still does.
Oh, it was beautiful. That Toyota series last year, I fished in there last year, and it caught him out of the hydrilla.
Oh, okay.
And, it doesn't have anything this year. It just all died.
Yeah.
So Garrett, one thing I want, and we had a comment here, and guys, don't think we're saying that if you don't have live scope, stay at home, or if you don't have live scope, you're not going to win this thing or get a check.
No.
We're not saying that by no means. We're just saying with live scope, there's going to be more caught. I mean, that's just what it does. That's what live scope does. It allows more fish to be caught. We're not saying it will and only be won by somebody with a live scope. We're not saying that at all. Carolina rig, the way the frog's playing right now. Don't think we're saying that. We're just saying that's going to allow more fish to be caught. And saying that, Garrett, I want two reports. I want what would you do if you were fishing this tournament? I want one with live scope and one without. So let's go. All right, you're fishing it right now with live scope. What would be your game plan? What would you do to fish the Big Bass Splash starting on Friday?
If I had live scope, I would get in some drains, main lake, out of the wind, of course, because it's going to blow 20 miles an hour, it appears. Somewhere you can fish, and hard bottom areas specifically. Get on some hard bottom areas coming out of these drains and 4 to 13 feet and drag a Carolina rig. Just imagine yourself as a post spawner trying to reacclimate to 20 foot of water, which is going to take a month, somewhere in there. But we also got shad coming into spawn. So that in-between area, is where I would focus with the shad coming into spawn and fish coming out. If I did not have live, and I would use live scope, throwing a Carolina rig and also throwing a jerkbait. Both of them. Now, you can do that without live scope as well, but it would be a different approach if I didn't have it in a sense like I would take a frog, to be honest with you. I would take a dang spro, popping frog, and I would get up in some bushes or in some dirty water or around hay grass and just any sort of bush that has any water on it, because there are still fish on the bank spawning and eating bluegill. I've been seeing a lot of bluegill on the bank. That means they're eating a frog. Like, just hands down, they're eating a frog. So I can get up there and throw a frog, and when you get a bite, it's going to be a good one. This time of year, But you got to put it in your hand and throw it all day.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's something you got to stick with,
Yeah.
This could be a really good event this weekend. I think the weather's going to set up right for it, and
well, it allows all the people to spread out. They're shallow. There's some like you said, Garrett. Back out with Carolina rig, get up in the bushes, flip, throw a frog, throw a swim jig, yada yada yada. It allows people to spread out a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Garrett, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you coming on with us and taking time out of your guide trip day there, and hopefully y'all catch them.
Thanks, man. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate it, man.
All right. See ya.
That's Garrett Hilton with his guide service over there at Sam Rayburn. And does he do Toledo Bend as well?
Mainly just Sam Rayburn. Mainly just Sam Rayburn. I know he'll sneak over to Toledo Bend every once in a while, but he stays busy right there at Sam Rayburn. Does a great job. Very knowledgeable, very good for people with new electronics and teaching them and learning and how to use them, live scope, down scan, side scan, how to set up electronics. Garrett does a really good job with all that. So,
all right, real quick, we're going to wrap up the ABA Open Series. That's the number one. It was the first tournament of the South Texas division. We're kind of getting a late start this year, and so it's and again, I want to give a shout out to Chris Wayan. He does a wonderful job. Does a great job of organizing these events for all the ABA events, whether it's East Texas, South Texas, Oklahoma. He's just does a wonderful job. The Solo 150s, which is where we're headed this week to Eufaula, Oklahoma, this coming weekend, and he'll be heading that up there as well. So, but the winner of this event, the ABA Open Series South Texas Division, was Jeffrey Rice out of Bossier City. That's Glenn Freeman's old partner.
Yeah, they used to partner together.
Yep. Yeah, and then he's also Randy Deaver's partner, and does a great job. He and Randy are a great team together. But he had 21.70. He had a 5.23 kicker. Travis Segorian from Willis, Texas. He was second with 20.67. He had a 6.38 kicker. Hunter Moncrief was third from Pineland, Texas with 17.30. Braxton Hole was 16.28. Danny Cherry, who's actually won Angler of the Year, I know Danny well, compete against Danny. He's a really good angler. He finished 5th from Jasper, 1574. Chris Clemens from Lufkin, Texas, was 6th with 1566. John Despino, Randy Despino's son, out of Colfax, was 7th with 1563. Robert Chandler from Vinton, Louisiana. Louisiana was well represented here. He finished 8th with 1527. Michael Bruton, who's actually an old Winfield boy, now lives at Milam, Texas. Michael finished 9th with 1445. And Ford Atkins of Lufkin, Texas, rounded out the top 10 with 14.44. And I got to give a shout out to Adrian James from Winfield, my roommate. He finished 11th with 14.33, and I was 13th with 13.92. Oh, and principal over Longview, Texas, Stephen English, he finished 12th with 14.73. So a good turnout. Had some really good sticks in this event. I was really impressed. But a lot of these guys stayed on the north end of the lake, Kevin, out of Castleboykin. Don't know how many ventured south. Maybe the 2 20-pound backs came from down south. I don't know. But I know some guys that fished down there that stayed north did not do well, and they were questioning they should have went south. At the weigh-in, they were having second thoughts. But anyway, so that's going to wrap that up for the ABA. We're going to take another quick break, and when we return, we'll wrap up the
Outlaw Outdoors tournament.
The Outlaw Outdoors tournament on Sam Rayburn. And you're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. We'll be right back with more Tackle Talk Live.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in today. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. And we really appreciate when me and Kevin go to these tournaments, the shout outs you give us, saying hello, or listen to the show, appreciate the show. It really means a lot to me and him, because that way we know we're reaching a lot of people and we're having an impact. And that's what we're here for, trying to make you a better angler, hopefully help you catch more fish, especially Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn. That's our two lakes we really focus on. So, but again, we do thank you for commenting to us and making note that, hey, we do listen to you. We thank you. This segment is presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, Nacogdoches and Broadus, Texas. So thank you one and all. Kevin, Outlaw Outdoors, wrap it up.
Steve, they caught them.
Oh, they smoked them.
They caught them.
They smoked them.
First place, and I mean, you see these guys in the top weights every week over there. Corey Rambo, Rusty Clark had 24.75 with a 7-pound big fish to win $10,000. And the Outlaw Team Series number 4, Mark Muick and Harold Moore, 24-25. That had to sting a little bit. Got second place. Third place, Matthew Wright, Cameron Mallett with 23.06. Steve, we can go all the way down. I mean, I keep calling all these names out. Derek Mundy, Jason Bonds was 7th with 20.81. 10th place was Chris Wilson and Brian Lohr. 10th place now. 10th place. Yeah. 20.25 was 10th place. 12th place, Bubba Frazier, Tommy Hill was 20.01.
Yeah.
Was 12th place.
Ounces.
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 The last check was 15th place. 15th place was the last check. 19.41 pounds was the last check. 16th place was another 19-pound stringer, 19.37. Did not get a check. 19.37 did not get a check.
Yeah, it ain't like the weights dropped off after that first 15. I mean, they just stayed stacked up 17, 18. I mean, all the way down. Kevin, you just keep going down the list. And, I mean, it's 27th was 17.22.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow.
Yeah. They called them.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely called them.
They definitely smoked them.
No doubt about that.
Saturday.
I mean, 19 and a half pounds to get a check. 20 pounds even gets you 12th place.
Yeah.
They called them.
And the reason why I think a lot of these guys stayed south, because our end of the lake, which is normally really, really crowded, was not as crowded as normal. And for there to be an Outlaw Outdoors tournament going on, which probably had 150, I would assume.
Somewhere around there. 100 this time of year.
And there was another, I think, event going out of Jackson Hill. So it just wasn't crowded on our end. You could pretty much go where you wanted to go and fish, which is what we did. And again, we had a lot of 13 to 15-pound stringers in our deal. And that's where guys, we all stayed north. So that's probably
you're talking about an individual tournament, too, compared to a team tournament.
That is true. It was an individual tournament. So, but again, Outlaw Outdoors, y'all do a great job. I mean, good gosh, we can't say thank you enough. Y'all just continue to knock it out of the park. Okay, upcoming events. Of course, this weekend, as we've already alluded to, Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash. You could call him Bob Bass. Big Bass Splash Series on Sam Rayburn. April is out of Humphrey Pavilion, April 22nd through the 24th. The Solo 150 is this weekend as well. We're going out of Eufaula, Oklahoma, April 22nd and 23rd. Guys that are headed up there, be careful. The wind is supposed to howl on us. They're talking 25, even up to 30-mile-an-hour winds on Saturday. Not sure how it's going to affect us, but that's a lake, Kevin. It's so strung out, you can probably get away from the wind a little bit.
It's not like Toledo, it's not Texoma, Toledo, Rayburn.
No, it's a different makeup. Yeah. A lot of fingers and arms go off of it, and not a whole lot in the main lake that gets you in trouble. But anyway, May 4th through the 6th, the Toyota Series is at Rayburn, Kevin. That's going to be a good event.
It is, and that will be, let me get my coordinates here right. It'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, May 4th through the 6th. They're going to flat out catch them in that event. Yeah. That Saturday, May 7th, is the V&M Baits tournament. Outlaw Outdoors has it up. It will be ran by Outlaw Outdoors. They have it up on their website. You can get registered. V&M Baits only. And as we talked about last week, that does not include terminal tackle, shaky heads, an Alabama rig. It does not have to be V&M. The plastic on whatever you're using, the main bait, which is the plastic, has to be V&M. All jigs have to be V&M, and any trailers on those jigs has to be V&M. Terminal tackle does not matter. But again, V&M Baits tournament May 7th over there on Sam Rayburn. Get registered at Outlaw Outdoors.
Now, that's a trailer tournament, Kevin, or is it?
That is a trailer tournament.
Trailer tournament. Okay, because also that weekend is the ABA Open Series South Texas Division. We're going out of Castle Boykin. All ABA events will go out of Castle Boykin.
Now, y'all Sunday or Saturday?
We're Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be Saturday. You're
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yes.
And also May 6th and 7th, the top 6 on Toledo Bend. All you club guys, hey, this is a great event. I know in our region, we got our club will be well represented there. And so good luck to all those guys that are headed for Toledo Bend. That could be another good event as well.
That will be a really good event. I'm going to be anxious to see what the weights are brought in for that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that'll kind of tell the tale. And Toledo's been showing out a little bit this year. So happy to see that.
Yep.
Kevin, what else we got?
That does it for today. Get registered, Bass Cash Bash, if you're not registered for Toledo Bend. Just started up, or it's been going about a month and a half now. Sam Rayburn's on the decline. I mean, it ends on May 1st.
Yeah.
Or last day of April. But if you're going to fish the Big Bass Splash this weekend, get registered for Bass Cash Bash. Don't be that guy to catch a $1,500 tag and you didn't spend $50 to get entered. So.
Well, a good friend of mine, Pete Daniels up there in Shreveport, actually caught a 2020 tag fish on Caddo. PD is going to write him a check for $500 for that old tag.
Yep.
And he gets all kind of prizes and sunglasses or rain suits or
Nick
whatever.
LeBrun did on Sam Rayburn. Nick LeBrun caught a 2021 tag this year. P.D. Vincent wrote him a $500 check for winning catching last year's tag.
There you go.
Get registered, people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer. All right, that's going to wrap us up. We appreciate each and every one of you for listening, tuning us in. Spread the word. Let people know about us. And, again, we thank you for tuning us in. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our advertising team, make sure you contact us on our Facebook page. Kevin will get a packet out to you immediately. For Kevin Jean, our producer, James Stanfield, and yours truly, Steve Graff. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week right here with more Tackle Talk Live.